It's my honor to introduce Eric Mitchell. In a one young world, for Eric and I, it's one small world, because Eric also comes from Calgary, Alberta. He's working at Ernst & Young as an assurance associate, graduated with a Bachelor of Commerce degree. But even more small of a world, he's an Olympian. Yay! Eric was the youngest man on the Canadian Olympic team competing in the Vancouver 2010 Olympics, and he competed in the sport of ski jumping. Takes a lot of courage for that sport, I can tell you. After competition, Eric wanted to give back. The world of sport is very slow to change, and it still is much further behind many parts of society when we're dealing with LGBT issues. The Canadian Olympic Committee here in Canada is actually a world leader, and they created a very innovative program to challenge homophobia and to support the LGBT community within sport. Eric stepped up and helped shape and create what's called the One Team program that promotes inclusivity. And beyond just being a One Team ambassador, he's actually taken that further by taking it to the international community via his role with the Youth Olympic Games, which he's going to speak to us about today. It's taken Eric over 20 years to find the courage to speak freely about who he is. So please give him a very warm welcome as he shares his story with us today. Eric.
Thank you, Mark. Bonjour à tous. I want you all to close your eyes and imagine. What would it feel like to compete for your country on sport's largest stage? What would it feel like to run like Usain Bolt or swim like Michael Phelps? What would you be thinking as you walked into the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games with the entire world watching? Would you feel ashamed? Afraid? Terrified that somebody might see through your facade, see you as gay? Not everyone is an athlete, but sport has an effect on all of us. It is a vessel that fosters good health and well-being, a place where all fans can come together and cheer, and a place where children see what real achievement looks like. And sure, our societies are more accepting of LGBTQ people than ever before, but sport lags behind. Quite frankly, Mark, I was born the year you won your gold medal in Barcelona. Why have we not moved on from this? But look, young athletes here in Canada are still bombarded by the assumption that everyone is or should be heterosexual. Look at this study we've done. 64% of LGBTQ young people feel that they do not belong in sport at school. They're not unfounded with their beliefs, because 1 in 5 LGBTQ young people have experienced abuse physically because of their sexual orientation, right here in Canada. It's not right. The fact is that LGBTQ young people still do not feel accepted within the confines of sport, and those who do hold on to their athletic dreams are forced to do so in an environment that is simply not inclusive. Something needed to change. I was willing to put my voice and my name behind something that I truly believed in. I wanted to make sport a more inclusive place for LGBTQ athletes. And when I approached leaders within the sporting community, I had explained to them that they had provided me with everything I needed to be successful: coaches, dietitians, physiologists. But what I needed most was to feel accepted. In fact, that was the number one thing preventing me from performing. And performance was a language that everyone could understand. That message was heard by the Canadian Olympic Committee. And later in 2014, Mark and my fellow Olympians, gay and straight, came together to launch the One Team. The One Team was a program that we knew we needed to change the landscape in sport, and it had 3 resources. 1, how to create LGBTQ safe spaces. 2, how to stop harassment on the field of play in 30 seconds or less. And 3, how we can all be better allies. We also launched a 90-second video where my One Team ambassadors and myself shared why this experience is so important to all of us. The video was a hit. It reached over 17 million digital impressions on Facebook and Twitter, and on our mainstream media here in Canada got over 13 million traditional hits. It was just a success in general. But the message has spread so much further. That's the cool part. Hundreds of students in my hometown have opened up their classrooms to a message of inclusion, and I've helped train over 100 professional coaches on how to make sure all their athletes can reach for their dreams. They've even trained how to stop harassment when they see it, and there's nothing quite like that. When the International Olympic Committee appointed me as the young ambassador to the 2016 Canadian Youth Olympic team, I made it known that I was gay. And I encouraged my counterparts to ditch their assumptions and ditch their comments. Because at these games, 1,100 of the best young athletes in the world embraced the Olympic value of respect. We made it known that the Youth Olympic Games was a safe place to be LGBTQ. However, it's not always been so good. In Rio de Janeiro this year, a journalist wrote an article that basically outed a whole bunch of Olympians in the Olympic Village. It gave rise to a hashtag that roughly translated to "gays don't deserve medals," which was shared on Twitter over 80,000 times. My stomach sank when I saw this on my phone, and I knew that we needed to say something. And after the Olympic Committee heard what had happened, they had actually removed this journalist from Rio, because hate was not welcome in Rio. Words matter. And this program has helped change the language used at the highest level of sport, where the IOC has amended the Olympic Charter to say that discrimination based on any sexual orientation is incompatible with both the Olympic movement and the values of Olympism. But trust me, during our crusade for equity, we have had to overcome many obstacles. But we are not simply doing this because it is the right thing to do. We are doing this because we know it will boost performance, and that was our common ground. Empowering athletes to be their true selves is a competitive advantage, and the bottom line is we will win more medals because of this initiative. After all, the Olympic Games continues to be the largest peacetime gathering of nations and has tremendous power for peace and development. We believe that now we can use it as a tool to break down the homophobic attitudes we still see in the world of sport today. Because it does not matter where you come from, what language you speak, who you love, or how you identify. If you can run the fastest, jump the highest, and are the strongest, you deserve not only a medal around your neck, but the cheers and respect from all of us. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Thank you.